Welcome back to Mac Talks of Football, and Juventus have won a massive game against the Atalanta away to Atalanta. The game ended 1-0, and it's a big win for Atalanta that pushes them into the third spot in the fourth spot, in Syria in that Champions League places. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. And it is really hard to talk about this game because it was not a really good game to watch. I'm really disappointed because if you see my prediction video for Syria, I said this could turn out to be one of the most exciting games of the weekend, and it was anything but that. It was as I say, it was a hard one. It was so poor, it was so slow. I think and especially Juventus, and the fact that they ended up winning the game is, it is like that's football. You anything can happen in this game, and that's why we love football. But they were really a no match for Atalanta, if I may say so. Atalanta had majority of the ball. They had the majority of the possession. They created so many chances. They came close so many times. But again, the fault lies with Atalanta as well. They really did not, finish off their chances, and majority of those chances, were not like clear-cut chances. Most of them were half-hour chances. And the fact of the matter is, they really had to, defend. They really had to go past Juventus, because Juventus really sat back, which I was quite surprised that they did that. They really did not press forward as much as I thought they would be, because I thought this was one of those games that they would really try to go and go and have a go at Atalanta. But they were a lot cautious in their approach. They waited for Atalanta. They let Atalanta have the ball. They were very happy with it, and then they tried to hit them on their counter attack, which they were quite successful, if I'm being very honest. And they ended up scoring the goal from that as well. A great goal from Jeremy Boga, not taking anything away from that. Comes in from that right hand side, slots it, at the bed of the, at the bottom of the net, and it becomes 1-0 Juventus. Did they deserve that lead? It is debatable. Did they deserve that win? That is even more debatable. But it is what it is. It was a lucky win. It was a win that they really needed. It's not an easy place to go to. Atalanta themselves are there, it is looking highly unlikely that Atalanta are going to be in Europe next season. This was one of those games that they really needed to win, not only just because they need to close the gap between them and the teams above them, and to dent Juventus's chances as well. Technically Juventus are one of their rivals for those European places, so it was an important game for Atalanta. And I personally think, as I say, they really tried. They really came up, and the crowd was behind them as well. And I think they played good. They created good amount of chances, but they were not clinical enough in front of the goal. They had like 3 or 4 very good chances where they should have finished those chances off, and we could have they could have gotten something out of this game, but as I said, in front of the goal, they were not really good enough. Juventus had themselves, they had good chances. They really did not try that hard. I think that the game plan was quite simple. They sit back, they frustrate Atalanta, and then they try to hit them on the counter attack. And they try to score the goals, and they were really successful in that. Whenever they came forward, it looked like they are gonna go ahead and do something. Thuram came very close just before the end of the first half, but apart from that, there were not really that many big moments in this game. It was it felt like both of them were trying to go, they would create something, they would go right until to that into that 6-yard box, and then both of them would scuff it. Especially Atalanta, as I said, they had more possession. They were the ones that they were really trying to create something out of this game, but it did not materialize for them. And Juventus, they were already quite defensive, quite pragmatic in their approach, and the moment they scored that goal, they became even more defensive minded. And as I said, they defended very well. That's a compliment. As an Arsenal fan, I would have taken that today. They defended really well. Juventus, they withheld the pressure, whatever Atalanta threw at them, with the crowd support as well and whatnot. they made sure that they don't let us slip. They don't want to let a goal in, and they were really good at it. The way that they were set up, their positioning of every single defender, I think it was a very good defensive performance from Juventus. The way that they marked every single one of those Atalanta players. They really did not let there were very few times where Atalanta were able to break that back line, or make a run behind the defenders, where they maybe have a chance and score a goal. But for majority of that part, Juventus defended really well, and that was the game plan. I still think they were lucky. I still don't think they deserve to win that game. But this is the part of the season where nobody really cares, nobody gives a damn. Even the fans, Juventus fans are not going to care how they win it, if they get the points, and if those points help them to get into the Champions League and they play in the Champions League. Juve fans don't give a fuck how Juventus won the game, or how they played, or how aesthetically it looked while they were playing that. They only care about those 3 points, and at the same for every single team. This is the business end of the season. You have teams fighting for relegation, there are teams fighting to stay in the league, somebody wants to become champion, teams going at it for European places. So every single game in every single league currently in Europe, you watch today how in different leagues how positions have changed. A team started in relegation zones, they came out of it. Teams started in European positions, they went out of those. So every single game matters. It doesn't matter or how you play. What matters right now in the last 5, 6, 7 games of the season is that you win, that you get those points. And I think that's what Juventus did. They came with a certain plan, they came with a certain mindset. And if you are a Juventus player, and if you are a Juventus manager, or if you are support staff and whatnot, they all came with that plan. They would be on the moon right now. They got that goal, they defended really well, and they got 3 points, and they're massive 3 points. They're, as I said, they're fourth in the table now, looking very likely. The race for Champions League is very tight in Serie A as well, but they're giving them a great chance. And now basically they've thrown the gauntlet to the other teams. Roma won last night as well, so it was important for Juve to win this game as well. So they've responded with that win. So now the pressure goes to other teams. We know Como are going to play Inter, so Como are going to be under a lot of pressure playing against the supposedly at the moment would be champions. So it's not going to be an easy game for Como as well. But for Juve, a massive win, a great performance in terms of defending and getting what they wanted. Atalanta, on the other hand, would be quite disappointed. They really did not get anything out of it. I personally think they should have at least gotten a point out of it. I think that the way the balance of the game went, I still think it should have been a draw. But it is what it is. It is football. Somebody wins, somebody loses. You need to take your chances. Atalanta did not take their chances. Juventus did, and they get the win, and they get those massive 3 points. That is it for me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game. Do you think Juve deserve to win this game? Do you think Atalanta deserve to get anything out of it? And do you think Juve are going to qualify for the Champions League, or do you think they are going to miss it out? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of the season, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.